Let me first say how proud I am to be part of a program that doesn't stoop to cheap graphics over the shoulder like some of those less developed programs. This week, Save a Veggie, Eat a Cow. Am I wrong, or is there something a little fishy about vegetarianism? I was going to chicken out and duck this issue altogether, but I've been dogged lately by all the horsing around vegetarians have been doing in the mass media and even in schools. Now, I'm not talking about those well-behaved vegetarians who keep to themselves. I'm talking about the evangelical vegetarians, the ones who cannot be satisfied eating beans and Brussels sprouts alone. They want everyone else to eat them too. When I hear a crusading vegetarian espousing a meat-free society, well, I get so mad I want to eat a sausage. There are several areas of concern I have when it comes to vegetarians who try to push their lifestyle on the rest of us. First of all, there is the issue of freedom to eat. You've heard of freedom of speech, right? Well, let's remind one another that although the Constitution does not explicitly guarantee us eating privileges, it does suggest that if we can afford to, we should go ahead and eat what we please. The only thing that statutory law forbids us to eat is stuff that will kill us so rapidly it might be construed as suicide. So let's give each other a break and stop contributing to societal stress by criticizing diet, okay? People who pester people about what they eat probably cause more damage than the so-called killer foods. Second, I don't appreciate evangelical vegetarians messing around with the basic health education. You remember how recently the newspapers and electronic media crowed all over the country about the 4 basic food groups that had been chucked in favor of a more vegetarian fare. Bull-headed vegetarian doctors and activists had managed to corral enough people into signing on to this pledge that what was once good eating was no longer. How can this be true overnight? The 4 food groups, in balance and moderation, were restored to their hallowed position after curious reporters dug into this issue and found out that a vegetarian agenda had inspired the new food pyramid. Third, there's the issue of meat itself. Some vegetarians object to the consumption of meat because of its ill effects on health. Others object because innocent animals are slaughtered to feed mankind. Let's deal with the health thing first. I know about a family that lives up in the bush country of Alaska. Since winter gets a little long up there, they have to rely almost entirely on a diet of meat and fat. Yes, these Caucasian transplants have a lower level of bad cholesterol than most anyone in the lower 48. How can this be? Well, they have to work so hard to live that the meat they eat is used as a highly efficient fuel by their bodies. When one works hard, meat's a good food. Then there is the concern over cruelty to animals. Well, until someone can prove to me that the animals we use for meat think about this issue, I don't care too much. Maybe anonymous phone interviews will get them to come out of their shells. Listen, you vegetarian crusaders, I love meat. In particular, I love beef. I was staring at a cow just the other day, and something very important occurred to me. You are what you eat. That cow was eating a vegetarian diet. Now, if this is true, that a vegetarian diet is healthy and moral, and the cow is a vegetarian, then it makes perfect sense for me to eat this cow. I'm John Modaff, and that's my turn.